Pledge allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a roll call, please? Supervisor Sklitsky? Supervisor Grady? Okay.
This clicker's missing.
All right. Supervisor Decker and Supervisor Gens are excused. Right now, we will welcome the County Executive for the 2019 County Budget, presented by County Executive Kreuser. There we go.
Thank you, Chairman Esposito, Vice Chairman Day, members of the County Board, elected officials, distinguished guests, and the citizens of Kenosha County. Every day is a great day in Kenosha County, and this past year has been nothing but great. Equalized value has gone up above projections. The tax base is larger in some measure because of the work we've done together to increase economic development possibilities. We are seeing the infrastructure we built continue to pay off by attracting new companies to our area. Anybody who wants a job can get one. As a result, when the citizens of Kenosha County look at their upcoming tax bill for Kenosha County purposes, they will see a decrease in the actual cash out of pocket. Yes, taxes are going down in 2019. Taxes on a home valued at $200,000 will decrease by $8.26. Wallets will be fuller, and the budget meets the needs of our community. What's in the budget is a result of all the work you do in your committees. The citizen boards, the other elected officials that interact with us, comments from the residents in our community, and a few unfunded state mandates. This budget is also the result of deep analysis and review. What's the return on investment? What is in the best interest of Kenosha County in the long haul? And many, many budget requests did end up on the cutting room floor. In many respects, this is a maintenance budget that sustains essential operations and builds on our long-range successes in economic development and infrastructure. Before I get into the details, there are a few people I want to recognize. Bob Riedel, Human Resources Director for Kenosha County for 20 years. Bob loves Kenosha County and the people who work here. Bob has been a strong and fair advocate for employees, as well as a good representative for the administration, and he's provided an excellent balance. Whether it was in contract negotiations or helping find the best solutions for all of us after the post-Act 10 world. Bob led the way with a positive attitude and a calm smile. Bob, we're going to miss that smile and your laugh. We are. He's good. He is the consummate professional, but he's looking forward to spending more time with his grandchildren and hopefully watching the Badgers, the Packers, and the National League Central champion Brewers win national titles. Bob will retire at the end of this year. Succession planning has been key to the whole process to pass along the institutional knowledge and ease transition. Bob was generous to us to stay on as his successor, Clara Tappa. Her appointment is on your agenda tonight. She has big shoes to fill. Thank you, Bob Riedel. Lori Staves has been with Kenosha County for over 18 years. She'll retire at the end of this year. She brought together what has been financial silos in human service areas as their CFO. Her financial acumen has allowed Kenosha County to capture millions of dollars in federal reimbursement for human service programs. She has come up with countless ways to leverage state, federal, and local dollars to do the absolute best for the citizens of Kenosha County in the most cost-effective ways. Her guidance in developing and now overseeing the financial model for the Brookside Care Center expansion and the addition of Willowbrook Assisted Living Center has been priceless. She has been working with her successor, Tammy Capito, to ease the transition. Thank you, Lori, and we wish you the best on your new chapter, Mrs. Lori Orendorf. Stand up. Stand up. Dave Geertsen, the county's chief financial officer, retired in August after 33 years with Kenosha County. Dave brought the highest standards of professionalism to Kenosha County's finances. He's advocated tirelessly for best practices and high ideals. He led Kenosha County through challenging fiscal times, and we came out on the other end far better for it. Our robust financial position is due in large part to Dave's vision. He worked alongside Finance Director Patty Merrill for about a year as part of our succession planning. We want to thank you, Dave Geertsen. Thank you, Dave. He always avoided the limelight. And last but not least, Fran Petrick has been at Brookside and Kenosha County since 2008, right after I got elected. She's planning to retire very early next year. She's transformed everything at Brookside so that we went from losing over $1 million annually to be self-supporting and returning money to the county budget annually. When she came here, she immediately started advocating for a continuum of care. Now we have Willowbrook Assisted Living, and it's already over half full. She saw the need, had the vision for much of the improved rehabilitation services and a more home-like environment for the Brookside residents. She's not only a leader here, she's recognized nationwide and, of course, in our own state. She's worked with the Brookside Administrator Linda Bagdala as part of our succession planning. Thank you, Fran Petrick. These are highly competent and professional individuals, and it's the people who make the difference in Kenosha County. It's the people who make the difference in Kenosha County government. That's what makes a difference. Their fingerprints are all over this budget because they had a vision, they've used best practices, they know the most cost-effective and effective ways for us to do business in Kenosha County. Join me in thanking them for their 80 to 85 years worth of work in giving us great service. Thank you. This budget recognizes a goal of late Supervisor Greg Retzloff, whom you'll see honored on the cover of our budget book. His wife told me he really enjoyed the Petrifying Springs Beer Garden. And the picture we used is of him tapping the first keg of the season there this year. On the financial side, Supervisor Retzloff asked many times if he could set aside money in a reserve fund for capital projects. Our CFO would respond, there is a possibility of this in the future, but the county wasn't there yet. In keeping with these sentiments, we are proposing adding language to the reserve policy that if the general fund is in excess of 31%, it will be placed in a reserve to be used for approved public works or public safety capital projects. Our financial advisor, Zellers, is supportive of this policy change, and we hope you'll look kindly on that budget change. This budget also adds 3 social workers and a social worker supervisor, using very little tax levy because of the revenue through a federal, state, and county partnership. This will allow the social workers' caseloads, as you know on the Human Services Committee, to be reduced. Our social workers help children reach permanent homes more quickly and keep them safe, reducing the number of children having to live in foster care. This budget gives an additional help to veteran services to improve communication with our veterans and their families as they continue to increase outreach to veterans across our county. They have also extended hours in Salem Lakes and at the Sharing Center. And there will be a veterans event at the Job Center on November 3rd, and I'm sure you'll be getting information on that very soon. This budget provides funds to the Shalom Center to assist them addressing the chronically homeless population. This budget continues the support of the Sharing Center, the Twin Lakes Food Pantry, and Women's and Children's Horizons. This budget adds depth to the behavioral health services staff. Over the past 10 years, our behavioral health services have grown by 85%. Calls to our crisis center continue to increase, and we don't expect that to decline. And as you know, in the past 2 years, we have secured 5 new grants to address mental health shortages and the opioid crisis. This budget provides additional funding to the Bridges program, a center that assists people with behavioral and mental health issues. This budget increases beds at the care center to provide more opportunities for people in behavioral health and crisis situations. This has a direct impact on keeping our state institutional costs down. This budget upgrades some testing equipment in the health department lab to allow for faster and better drug and alcohol analysis to help law enforcement, the courts, and of course the general public. This budget makes a change in the drug formulary for Kenosha County employees that will result in a $300,000 to $500,000 savings while still providing their medications and services they need. This budget provides the county's portion of the funding to replace the 911 radio consult system that is now at the end of its useful life. Hopefully it waits until the budget passes and then we get the new one. The mayor and I, along with the Joint Services Board, know that this is a critical system. It allows dispatchers to broadcast and receive radio calls and transmissions from law enforcement and the EMS and the firefighters in the field, and activates the emergency outdoor warning systems. This budget also develops a robust simulcast system by adding 2 communication towers and radio equipment. This addresses the communication gaps for law enforcement, fire, and rescue services. When it is completed, it will provide the level of coverage consistent with the federal targets of 95% of the community's area covered 95% of the time. Special thanks go to all the local fire chiefs in our county and Ray Arbit for his extensive work on this critical public safety project. This budget continues our effort to try to catch up still from the previous administration more than a decade ago, delaying purchases of highway equipment. Highway Division mechanics do an excellent job of keeping the trucks rolling on the road or keep them in use, but there comes a time when you need to replace your equipment. This budget will also upgrade and transition our job center to better provide training in the gig economy to better acclimate individuals with technology and job apps that are in place but are underutilized. The goal is to match people's skill sets to increase the overall wages of their family. We need to be more proactive, whether it's someone looking for their first job or someone who has had their job for years and just wants more. The budget before you tonight studies what it will take to bring the ceremonial courtroom in the historic courthouse back to its original beauty. We believe we can get historic preservation grants for some of that restoration work. It's a shame the 1920s murals have been hidden beneath the drop ceiling. Judge Bruce Schrader, who occupies that courtroom, is pleased we're looking at it. So is Chief Judge Rosell, and of course our own Mary Kay Wagner right here, our judge who's here tonight and joined us. This budget strengthens our cybersecurity and overall IT infrastructure from threats both foreign and domestic, and makes enhancements to critical business applications, including the very successful delinquent tax application that was introduced last year. This budget continues the bike trail signage project that has been several years in the planning, and it was awarded a significant state grant. Recently, I met with other county executives and administrators in La Crosse, and I can tell you they're envious of our economic development boom. And now is not the time to put on the brakes. These economic achievements are a direct result of our focused attention to the county highways and infrastructures. Significant quality development is knocking at our door, and we don't want to let it drive past. The most significant part of this budget is infrastructure. This budget lives up to our commitment to the state of Wisconsin, which is investing $30 to $40 million to expand County Trunk KR from I-94 to Old Green Bay Road. Our commitment was $3.3 million, and this board supported that proposal last year. Other road projects include County Trunk Highway K. Many of you drive into the city on K, and you can see the rural profile is not keeping up and adequate for current traffic. In working with the mayor, the city of Kenosha will expand the road to 4 lanes between the 2 sets of railroad tracks, right near their industrial park where they're going to have a TIF. The county will complete it to the intersection west, going west to H. We'll finish the intersection, and at that point, it will be jurisdictionally transferred back to the city, all the way back east. County Trunk Highway S, acquisition of right-of-way, and design work continue on that, and this will get done in 2019 project cycle for the acquisition of the property. We continue our usual paving projects as well, and I'm happy to report tonight that in 2018, we paved over 18 miles of County Trunk Road, which is a lot of road when you think about that. I urge all you to support the strong infrastructure development for Kenosha County. Staying ahead of the curve secures the future of our jobs and the safety of our community. In 2019, Kenosha County taxes are going down. They're about the same as they were back in 2015. This budget employs best practices to lay a solid foundation for the future growth and stability of our community. This budget addresses the needs of our community for the most vulnerable, including strengthening our mental health services. And it provides for the needs of the law enforcement, public works, and the courts. And again, it does that with all lowering county taxes. I look forward to working with each and every one of you as we review the 2019 Kenosha County budget. I believe this budget serves our community well, and it will create and cements a solid foundation for the future. May God bless America, and may God bless Kenosha County. Thank you.
We'll wait a few minutes here for the county budgets to be passed out. Thank you.
I turned my old one on.
Thank you. At this time, we will open the floor up to citizen comments. So any citizens wishing to speak, please state your name and address for the record. You will have 5 minutes.
Jack Rose, 4315 68th Street, Kenosha. Mr. President, members of the County Board, as you know, the purpose of NAMI is to improve the quality of life for people living with mental illness here in the county. We do this through education, support, and advocacy. We continually fight stigma and promote recovery, but we cannot do this by ourselves. And so you all, Kenosha County, Human Services, are really a driving force that allows us to get all this stuff done in the county. I thank you for all your previous support, and I think we have a tremendous opportunity once again in 2019 to go forward and make it even better. The new Crisis Prevention Center, which you all supported and helped bring to reality along with the city, a truly collaborative project, has been extremely successful since opening in April. It's been full continuously. Right now it's staffed for 11, and I see in the budget it's going to receive the funding, hopefully, to go to 16. This is fantastic. To give you an idea of what the Crisis Prevention Center has done, in June, they ran a test, and they had the 11 beds, but they also used bed 12 and 13 for folks that wanted to get voluntary treatment. At the time they wanted to do that, there were no beds available. And so instead of having an emergency detention or a Chapter 51, they used the beds and they allowed the people to stay there. During that 1 month, that saved the county $42,000 in IMD cost at the Institute. $42,000 in 1 month. That's only the IMD cost. It did not cover the transportation cost, and I think you're all aware of that. It goes to the Kenosha Police Department, the Kenosha Sheriff's Department to get these folks back and forth to Winnebago. If you go back to 2014, that cost to the Kenosha Sheriff's Department was right around $64,000. In 2015, the Kenosha Police Department had a bill of about $141,000 in transport. And that's just the one-way trip. And so many of you may know, when you have emergency detention, you have to start, you pick the people up, you get a medical clearance at the ER, and then it's 2 officers from here to Winnebago. That's a one-way trip, okay? Once they're up there, then it's up to the Sheriff's Department conveyance to bring the folks back and forth for the respective hearings. So by going to 16, we're going to save some money in the long run, and we will also provide better treatment to the folks and make their stay in a position right here in the county. So I urge your support on that. In the past, we've talked about Bridges Community Center. You've expanded the hours. We now have Bridges open on Saturday. This is fantastic, and it works. They have a tremendous crew there, and they are truly an adult recovery center, and it really goes a long way to helping our community with respect to mental health. I think as a member of the treatment court, the Vivitrol program has been exceedingly successful, because many times people with the addiction also have mental health disease. And so anything that we can do to help those, and right now they are treated simultaneously in a parallel fashion. And this is so vitally important. I think a real example of the collaborative effort that we're doing here is our crisis intervention team training, crisis intervention partner. This is a collaboration between the Kenosha County Human Services, Kenosha County Sheriff's Department, Police Department, Gateway Technical College, and Kenosha NAMI. To date, we have had 237 law enforcement go through the crisis intervention team training, and 815 go through the crisis intervention partner. I know I'm running out of time, but if I have one more point, Mr. President?
Sure.
Thank you. We're going to try an experiment here at in January 21st to 25th. And we've tried to get crisis intervention team training into the police academy. They've got so much stuff there now, it's not going to work. But we are going to take the class from the academy that graduates on, I think it's around the 20th, 18th or 19th, that Thursday or Friday. And on the following Monday, we're going to have a CIT class for those recruits. Now, it's a pilot program. We're going to see how it works. But I think once again, it's a tremendous opportunity for Kenosha County. Thank you very much. I look for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Any other citizens wishing to speak? Any other citizen comments? Citizen comments? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Announcements of the chair, I have a few. I want to reiterate to all supervisors, I'd like to thank County Executive Kreuser for the 2019 budget, for the new supervisors, and a reminder to all the supervisors, please attend all your oversight committees and meetings and understand what's in the budget. Please attend the Finance Administration Committee's meetings during the budget review. Also, you'll find in your pocket of your books, of your budget books, an inquiry form. With that form, it is to be used for you to ask questions about the budget, or if you have a suggestion to make a budget change. Those questions and suggestions should go to the Finance Committee team to be fully vetted. It is not best practice to ask questions nor make suggestions on the county board floor the night we expect to adopt the budget or pass it. If anybody has any other additional questions about this process, they can see me. Further, in regards to the vacant seat of District 7, we did have interviews of applicants last week. I see some of them in In the gallery, thank you for being here. I want to thank them for their time. Each candidate was exemplary. It was a great process to go through with each individual. I will make my decision on the next supervisor for District 7 within a week. All supervisors will be notified, as well as the applicants. With that being said, the applicant will be sworn in and seated October 16th. At that time, they will be giving their committee assignments. At that time, our seating chart will change here in the gallery, and at that time, that supervisor will be up and running. We will not go through any other process. It'll all be done on October 16th. So if any other supervisors have any questions, they can contact me about that situation. So basically, we're going to seat the supervisor. We're going to swear the supervisor in on the 16th. The supervisor will be up and running in regards to the budget. The supervisor will get their committee, so committee assignments may change again, unfortunately, and the seating chart will change again, unfortunately. But if anybody has any questions, please feel free to contact me. And in closing, in my comments, I would just like to personally thank Bob, Fran, for their years of service. Also Lori and Dave, on behalf of myself and the county board, we really want to thank you for the time and effort that you've put in your years here. We are definitely in a better place with you than without you. And with that, I have no other comments. Supervisor reports. Supervisor Gray, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Human Services Committee had their monthly meeting immediately preceding this gathering, and one of the things on our agenda was the concern about a proposed deficit that was running in Human Services in the second quarter. As of 6/30/2018, we had a proposed or actual $489,000 deficit, a little bit more than that. And there were concerns among the committee members and some here in the county board as well as to why this was occurring and could we have a further update. The regularly scheduled update would not have been normally until the end of September, the end of this month when the financials came in, end of last month. But we actually got a bit of an update that goes through August of this year. And I'm pleased to report that instead of being in the whole $489,000, we actually have an $82,000 surplus in the budget. This is largely due to a Medicaid reconciliation where retroactively Medicaid reimburses us for the increased rates that occur over a period of time. And that's a good news for us. The other thing I would like to mention is that we have Human Services Committee and the Board budget meeting October 18th at the Job Center on South Sheridan Road. Begins at 5 p.m. You're certainly all encouraged to attend that. There will be food served, and there'll be quite a budget presentation for those who want to delve more deeply into that process. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Grady. Supervisor Alverman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Facilities, Highway, Parks, and Golf budget meeting is going to be on the 15th of October. That's a Monday evening, 6 o'clock at the County Center. And all of our staff will be in attendance, and we'll be going over those actually 5 budgets, because we do planning and development also. As I told our committee last night at our meeting, I would urge anyone to contact our staff once they start going through this budget if they have any questions. Mr. Arbit, Jim Kupfer, Clement, any of our staff heads, myself, any phone calls, any questions would really be appreciated, because as the County Board Chairman said, to all of you in the room, I haven't been here forever, but I've been here 24 years now, and I've never seen anything major occur when we were debating the budget on the final night. Nothing has ever occurred. Questions need to be asked to make it appropriate and comfortable for the staff to answer you. This can be done by phone, via email, with personal meetings. They are all available, especially all of my people are available for anything. And we've tried to do that in the past, we're doing it again this year. So there's no need for any surprises when we finally get down to voting on this thing, and it makes it so much easier on the staff if you give them some time, and it makes it so much easier on yourself. So I'd urge anyone that wants to attend our meeting, if they have any questions before that, to contact us and ask. I'm going to be very brief as far as what's going on with Public Works. All major projects that I've reported on in the past are on schedule. The golf course has done a phenomenal job in this bad weather of being on track to have another successful year financially. Public safety building roof, we've had a history now on our roofing projects. We finished that project, $200,000 under budget. The Anderson Arts Center, the bids were received on September 20th. That is construction expected to be in early 2019. And as you'll find out in the budget, our partner in that, that was hinted at a year ago, $2.5 million of that project is going to be provided by the city. They have always known what a resource that was for Kenosha County and the city of Kenosha, and they are stepping up and actually taking on the major role in paying for that project. Branch 1 courtroom, we're targeting construction at the end of November. So, as I said, all of our major projects, the building projects, are on schedule. Highway projects, we're still working deeply with the federal government, state government, city, county, everybody on the Highway S project. County Highway W embankment project, scheduled for the end of November. And the parks have just been swamped. We've had the Oktoberfest. We just had the Oktoberfest at the Pets. We had the Fall Festival at Bristol Woods. We had Oktoberfest at Paddock Lake. Just one event after another that again are being happily attended by actually thousands of people. So again, congratulations to our staff. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Alvarez. Supervisor Rodriguez, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I first want to state that I appreciate the county providing the opportunity for myself and others to attend the WCA conference. Very informative, and I look forward to hopefully attending it next year. Moving forward, I'd like to thank the county executive for proclaiming September 15th through October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month, and now, if I may, I'd like to read his proclamation. It states, whereas the United States has celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month since 1968 to recognize and honor the vibrant and diverse cultures and contributions of Americans whose ancestors came from Latin America and the Caribbean, and whereas the participation of Hispanic and Latino citizens in our community has enriched the lives of everyone who call Kenosha County their home, and whereas people of all ages appreciate and enjoy the traditions, food, music, art, experience, values, and perspectives that our Hispanic and Latino citizens provide, and whereas Kenosha County welcomes people from all walks of life and all nations of origin, now therefore be it known that Kenosha County Executive Jim Kreuser does hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2018 as Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Rodriguez. Well done. Seeing no more supervisor reports, we'll move on. County Clerk.
County Executive Appointments, Michelle Milisovic to serve on the Kenosha County Library System Board.
Refer to Finance Administration Committee.
Clara Lynn Tappa to serve as the Director of the Kenosha County Division of Human Resources.
Refer to Finance Administration Committee.
Or, excuse me. Ordinance 13 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance amending the text of the Kenosha County General Zoning and Shoreline Floodplain Zoning Ordinance, reducing the membership of the Board of Adjustments. Decker, yes. Skalitsky, yes. Poole, yes. Nordigan, yes. Rodriguez, yes.
Thank you. Supervisor Skalitsky, you have the floor.
I move ordinance 13.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Skalitsky and a second by Supervisor Poole. Supervisor Skalitsky.
Ordinance 13, there was a proposed and passed amendment to the General Zoning and Shoreline Floodplain Zoning Ordinance in accordance with Section 59.694 of the Wisconsin State Statutes to reduce the membership of the Board of Adjustments. Essentially, since 2014, we've struggled to put 5 full-time members on that board. In addition, since 2009, the number of townships requiring our support and help has dropped from, I believe it was 9 to 5. And one of those is the township of Summers, which is a spattering of very small parcels and really does not require much support. What this change will allow us to do is put 3 full-time members on there, plus 2 part-time or alternate members to be selected by the county executive. And it was unanimously supported by our committee, and I would ask for everybody's support for this ordinance change.
Thank you, Supervisor Skalitsky. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ordinance passes.
Ordinance 14, first reading to required, from the Legislative Committee, an ordinance amending MCKC Chapter 2.041A4, County Board Rules of Procedure relating to elections of chair and vice chair. Resolution 50 from the Human Service Committee, a resolution to approve the appointment of Boyd Frederick to the Kenosha County Human Service Board. Grady, yes. Berg, yes. Nudo, yes. Gable, yes. Celebrity, yes. Rodriguez, yes.
Supervisor Grady, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move resolution number 50.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Grady and a second by Supervisor Gable. Supervisor Grady.
This was before us this evening on our committee. It received unanimous approval. We ask the same here this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Grady. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Resolution 51 from the Public Works Facilities Committee, a resolution to appoint Supervisor Monica Uhas to the Pringle Nature Center Board. Alverman, yes. Franco, yes. Nordigan, yes. Poole, yes. Skalitsky, yes. Cardinelli, excused. Uhas, abstain.
Supervisor Alderman, you have the floor.
I move the resolution, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Alderman. I have a motion by Supervisor Alderman and a second by Supervisor Franco. Supervisor Alderman.
The Pringle Nature Center is centered at our Bristol Woods County Park. And we have historically had someone on their board since we fund part of that nature center. And Supervisor Uhas has graciously nominated herself and accepted through the discussion to serve on that board. That is something that is I believe, a once-a-month meeting, and it gives us feedback and gives us a presence on that board, so I would ask that you approve.
Thank you, Supervisor Alderman. Seeing no discussion on this, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Claims, Charter Communications, property damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Approval of the September 18th, 2018 minutes by Supervisor Nudo.
Supervisor Nudo, you have the floor.
Move to approve the September 18 minutes.
A motion by Supervisor Nudo and a second by Supervisor Poole.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Did we go over ordinance number 14 yet? I think we missed that.
2 readings required.
2 readings required, Supervisor.
Did we read it?
We did, and you have to read it twice.
Okay, I spaced that, I'm sorry.
Okay. You okay? Okay.
Good. I apologize.
All right, thank you. Well, excuse me, hold on, Supervisor Kubicki. You're rolling too fast. Supervisor Rodriguez threw us off track. So, I have a motion by Supervisor Nudo and a second by Supervisor Poole. All those in favor to approve the minutes, say aye. Aye. A motion to adjourn by Supervisor Kubicki, a second by Supervisor Frederick. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you.